Good evening. I'm going to try to restrain myself. We're starting with the giggles. It's going to be a great show. Welcome. You are watching the Zone Blitz by NFL Female. We come to you live every Tuesday night, and yes, we're usually laughing because we have a lot of fun on this show. I am Sharona. I am going to moderate tonight, and Sonja's going to do a lot of the questioning. So we want to welcome our two special guests tonight, Rhonda Persidis.
Persidis, that's right.
I was so afraid I was going to mess that up because if you know me, you know I could mess. I can't pronounce cat right, so it's totally understandable. But we're going to have a great show. We're going to talk to Rhonda about. I just noticed my picture's not straight, so that's going to bug me through the whole show. So we're going to talk to Rhonda about a fantastic new app called Gridiron Moe. It is getting ready to launch. It is awesome. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But before we get started, we'll start with introductions. And again, I'm Sharona. I am the official Titans fan reporter for NFL Female, www.nflfemale.com. Be sure to jump on there and check out all the latest and greatest articles by our fantastic women who really know their stuff. They know their teams, and they're writing about their teams. Be sure to check out our Wednesday night show that Lisa is a part of, the NFL Female Podcast. It airs at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that right, Lisa?
It is, yes, ma'am.
I wanted to make sure because I, do tend to get confused sometimes. But okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. You know all about me. Shout out to Liz. I'm going to throw it over to Sonja to introduce herself and our guests.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. I'm Sonja. I am the Detroit Lions correspondent. There's my Megatron right there.
We love the
house. I'm the Detroit correspondent for NFLfemale.com. Hey! And while Sharona can't say cat, I can't spell cat. So there we go.
It's K-A-T, right?
I think so. I thought it was two T's, but I could be wrong. I'm so happy to be on tonight with some of our new friend Rhonda with Gridiron Moe, and our old friend here, Miss Lisa. And I mean old as in,
Yeah,
old.
No, I mean Lisa, I have to tell you this. Sonja and I were fighting over you earlier today over which one of us could call you our side boo.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
We decided to share you.
We're going to share you as our side boo.
Better being shared.
Oh gosh, I was about to say something really inappropriate, but I'm not going to do that. So without further ado,
it's a family show.
Exactly, it's a family show. Oh gosh, Rhonda's never gonna come back on.
No, I'm like, holy crap.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
So sorry, everybody out there who's watching.
We started out having way too much fun in the beginning.
Exactly.
From there.
Exactly. So we'll say hi to Lisa. We'll let Lisa introduce herself. Then we'll head over to Rhonda so she can tell us all about Gridiron Moe. Go ahead, Lisa.
How do I follow two beautiful women? I got two. So I'm Lisa. I'm with NFL Female. You can find me. I got a new article up this week on our tremendous loss that we had. Very excited about the loss.
Might as well be optimistic.
Absolutely. You can find me at on Twitter all the time, talking football with everybody. At LJ1303. So I did hear about this app though. I've been hearing about it all day. So just I'm waiting to hear about this and. Because I want to call some plays. I'm ready to bend some quarterbacks, call plays.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm really excited over here at NFL Female, so I know you can't wait for this one.
Yeah, this app is very exciting. I can't wait. Rhonda, tell us, first of all, who you are and I know it's you and your husband, how did you guys come up with this?
Oh, well, the app is Gridiron Moe, and you guys have done an amazing job getting the word out about it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
This app came to be out of just a family having a good time watching a football game. And when my husband, who we were talking about him before, came to this country about 20 years ago from Greece, he really didn't know a thing about football. And then he meets me, you know, American girl, and I grew up with football. I am a Denver Broncos fan since I was born. Mm-hmm. I love the NFL. I love the game. And I'm like, okay, if we're going to be together, this is what you do on Sundays in fall and winter. This is it. So he and
Rhonda, I like you already.
All right. But my husband really wanted to. He's very, very scientific, analytical mind, and very smart guy. And he wanted to understand the science behind the game and how it worked and what they were doing. And he started talking to my dad and really listening to the great sportscasters about what plays were being called. And he said, you know, this has got to be, there's got to be a way of having more fun with this. And the more we talked about it, we said, every family must do what we do, or every group of friends, that, you know, you're yelling at the screen, you're saying, no, do this, don't do that, don't take the knee, go ahead, you know, go for the extra 2 instead of the 1. And we decided, let's make a game of this, where rather than just being at home, enjoying the game and watching it on the screen, which is awesome, and there's certainly times you want to do that, we've designed this app that simply from your mobile device, it works right alongside whichever NFL game you are watching. And we'll have our little Gridiron Moe, our cheat sheet playbook right there, and you get to pick live on your phone which play you think should happen next for both offense, defense, special teams. You can just touch whatever play you want. We'll calculate it, and for every down, you get to see how the rest of the country and all the other Gridiron Moe fans are voting. And we're going basically with the wisdom of the crowds, because there's some very intelligent, savvy NFL fans out there that we think this information is going to be a lot of fun to see and a lot of fun to play with. So.
I think it's great. I'm excited about it.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I know that sounds especially like something that us ladies over at NFL Female can do, because, I mean, we don't like competition or anything like that, right?
No.
Oh, goodness. So what makes Gridiron Moe different than other football apps?
Well, it is the first one that is actually interactive and live with an actual game. Fantasy football, we love fantasy football, and it's terrific, but it does take quite a bit of knowledge. It's a time investment. It's a monetary investment. And we wanted to make Gridiron Moe where it's sort of for every fan of every knowledge level of football. If you don't have a lot of time, you can vote for a play for 1 down. You can vote for every down. But it's no more time. It's not going to take any more of your time than if you were just watching the game and enjoying the game. And you can jump in at any time. But it's the first one out there, though, that is actually happening in real time while you're watching a game, and it, you know, connects with exactly what's going on your screen at that given time. So, and we like it that it's good for friends, it's good for family. It's, you know, it's out there for everybody on any level of your NFL knowledge.
Oh, now, okay. Is it going to have, like, how many options are going to be available to choose from? And will it be like a pull-down menu, or how is that going to work?
It will be. You'll just click right on your, we're starting with iOS to begin with, so your iPhone or your iPad, you'll just pull it up, and you'll see, does the offense have the ball, does the defense have the ball, which team has the ball, what down, your clock, all your details, and then just below it, you are going to have your playbook. And you can pick, I want to say we're starting with 20 to 25 offensive plays, and I want to say 12 to 15 defensive plays that you can call. So, you know, there's hundreds and hundreds, and as the years go on and Gridiron Moe catches on, we're hoping to make it more elaborate, have more options that you can pull up on our website. But for right now, we feel it's a good number to start with and to help start getting the word out.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Good, good. Yeah, easy. We wanted it to be easy and fun, so it's not taking away from the enjoyment of the game, it's adding to it.
Right, exactly. Now, did you guys just come up with like a play, like just look at playbooks and things like that and just pick plays from there?
We did. We studied it pretty extensively. We went back and looked at some of the games from last year and what was called and what was most commonly used. And we tried to do a nice mix, both of common ones and then, throw some more random ones in there that don't get used that often.
Okay.
It'll be good to see some of those for some of our fans that are going to have more advanced knowledge, which will be good.
Is there going to be, probably not at first, but are there any plans for like a chat room within the app where you can chat with other fans?
We're hoping to advance. We want to get it out there and get it started, and then we see a lot of different avenues that this could take. It sort of has some endless options, but
it really does.
Oh yeah, but we're definitely wanting to start a real community with it. So it's designed to make it a social game, and we're hoping to expand on that quickly.
Okay, and so like, how will it actually work? So let's say I'm watching Bears Lions or something like that. So I'll be able to just kind of link in with my iPad and just kind of call plays. Is that
Absolutely.
Okay? Cool. And then go ahead.
Oh, no. Just the way it works is for each down, depending upon how quickly, if they're, I'm in Denver, we do hurry up quite a bit, but if they're running a hurry up offense or, if they're taking it at a little bit more leisurely pace, you'll have more time to think about your play. But part of that fun is, can I get my play in time? And then it's going to calculate how everyone in the country, everyone playing that particular game voted. And it'll give you immediate results of, wow, 60% of the country agreed with me, or I was in the 2% of, I called something nobody else would have thought of. So we see it good in both ways. You do get more points for going with the wisdom of the crowd if more fans agree with you. But and we are going to have a season winner, which we're working on that. We'd like to do game day winners as well, but we're working on season winner for right now. And they will actually get to post their Super Bowl prediction and then post-game review on the Gridiron Moe website at the end of the season.
Oh, awesome.
That'll be fun.
It sounds a lot.
Every time.
It sounds a lot like that trivia game that you play, like, at these sports bars and stuff. Am I on the right track?
A little bit, except it's a little more high tech, quite a bit more high tech actually than that. But that same level of camaraderie, we do see this being a good fit, for family and friends at home, but also for local sports bars, pubs. It's definitely something that everybody could get on their own device, or you could break up into teams, and all right, winner, losers pick up the bar tab for the evening, or so there's a lot of different ways to take that. We are excited about. We would like to see it take over book clubs. We love books, we love them, but it's also nice to have an option. And for NFL ladies like yourself, this might be a really fun alternative to that every now and then.
Exactly. A lot of book clubs meet on Sundays, so turn it into a football book club,
and,
a playbook club. Yeah,
it's a good gift. It's a good stocking stuffer for your family or for any NFL fans. So we're hoping that in addition to people joining in, we're hoping it's a really good giftable app, so that people will be excited to receive.
Now, your logo is so cute and awesome. I really love it. Where did you guys design that yourself?
We worked with a designer out of San Francisco, and her name is Maura Sparks, and I cannot say enough great things about her. She has been on board from the beginning and so creative and fun and easy to work with. So I will say, if anybody out there does need any design work for anything in the future, I would definitely talk to her, because she has been awesome. We love her.
It's really cute. I really like it. It's it's cute, but he's a little mean.
Yeah. Well, one thing when we are actually up, and if you'll see him on the website, is you get to pick your own mojo. Right now there's currently 9 different faces of Moe, with all the drama that he goes through in a football game. So he's going to look completely different if he did what the Broncos did this past Sunday on that really long pass to kick the game into overtime and that 2-point conversion, and then you might see him look the way that he usually does after they ended up losing after all that. So, but we figure everybody's going to feel a little different, and you can pick your own icon, which we think is a fun.
I love that. I think that's great.
Oh, great. So, and one thing I do want to mention, we definitely want to be an app that gives back. So we are going to be supporting a couple of great causes, both breast cancer research and also research for Down syndrome. So we're working with.
Oh, cool.
So those are just a couple highlights that we're hoping when the app does well, we really want to give back to those two foundations to start.
Now understand that the app is in internal testing right now. When do you expect it to launch?
We are expecting it to launch in about 10 to 14 days. So I would say somewhere between about the 10th to the 15th of October. So we can't wait. Awesome. It can't come soon enough.
Oh, that's so exciting. That is so cool. Now, how much is it going to be? Is it a free app and then you pay to, keep going, or how does that work?
It's going to be 99 cents to download, and you get your first game free. So you just download it for 99 cents, try it out, and then it's 99 cents per game after that, or $3.99, and you're ready for the whole season for any game that you want.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Exactly.
So we're excited. We were able to keep the cost down, and we're excited about that. We really want to have a lot of people be able to enjoy it. So, and as more people buy it, we're gonna have more fun with it, make it more animated, and we really want to take it to the next level. But it's a great start.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Is it going to update in real time?
It will. Yes, it will. It will. So as you are watching the game, you're going to see...
So you really have to be on your toes and be ready to pick your play and stuff. Because I asked that because you had said earlier about getting your play in time.
Right. Now, it'll update if you miss a play, if you're cooking dinner, running an errand, if you come in halfway, don't feel pressure like you've got to do every play. You can do just one play a quarter, and it'll still update and tell you what's going on. So when you click on it, you're going to be at the current down in the game. You're going to be right where you need to be.
I'm excited. I just want to say that as soon as it's available, the three of the NFL females that are in here right now, we're going to have to download this and compete.
Three real good ones.
All right.
I feel relatively certain I'm going to win.
Well,
I don't
know.
know.
I want to test it. I wanted to be a tester. I could be a tester.
I would volunteer to test. I'll test too.
Oh,
I volunteer. I volunteer as test.
Yeah.
We will absolutely. We'll be signing you guys up. You're all going to be recipients of Gridiron Moe when it comes out. So
awesome.
And we look forward to seeing your name on our leaderboard. So every week we'll have an updated leaderboard to see who's winning at Gridiron Moe. So
grab a pen.
I know I'm going to
I'll spell my name for you. It's Lisa with an L.
All right, Lisa, I'm going to write this down. No.
I feel relatively certain at some point I'm going to have a Gridiron Moe championship T-shirt, much like the one that I'm wearing right now.
Well, if you pick your team every week, you probably will, because your team's so predictable.
Hey, I have two things to say to you, Lisa. David's gonna hate, and you lost too.
That's why I said I know I'm sure win, because I can call every single play we run.
That's right.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, Rhonda, is there anything else that you want to tell our viewers out there about the app?
Well, please check us out. Our website is www.gridironmoe.com, and we are on Twitter at Gridiron Moe. We're on Facebook. I feel terrible. I don't know our Facebook address, but it's on our website.
I'm not a big Facebook girl.
You can Google it. Absolutely.
We're definitely going to be tweeting out the app, and as well as the website. The website is very well done. I was on there today playing around with it. It's very cute.
Thank you. Thank you. We again, we want it family friendly, but also at a level that true-hearted NFL fans can really get in there and enjoy it on their level as well.
Well, it sounds awesome. I can't wait. And after it does, yeah, there it is.
There he is.
Lisa Johnson,
our football coach.
Yeah. Good job, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa. You're the best.
See, I've got it. I'm ready to go.
Put him up there.
Well, Rhonda, after it launches, we hope that you'll come back and visit with us. We promise to be not quite, well, okay, I maybe shouldn't promise something I can't keep.
Exactly.
But we'll try not to be quite as silly the next time, but it was fun. It was fun starting out that way, and we really do appreciate you joining us. And I am so excited about this app. I cannot wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you. I know without any question, you guys are the most fun group I will talk to about this. So,
oh, of course.
It's been awesome.
Of course. That goes without question.
The winning group.
Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, Rhonda, so much for coming
Rhonda.
on.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
We're going to be tweeting out we're going to be tweeting out the Twitter address as well as the website address for Gridiron Moe. It is it's a great idea. I'm sort of sorry that I didn't think of it. But shout out to Rhonda and her husband for having the initiative to do that, and we hope that I'm sure that it'll be hugely successful, and I can't wait. 10 days. It'll be here in 10 days, so stay tuned in for that. And Rhonda, thanks again for joining us. We're going to talk some NFL now. Lisa has some things to say about her Miami Dolphins. I want to hear from Sonja regarding her Detroit Lions, and then we'll talk a little bit. We may talk some hot topics, but before we do, I have to not to put a damper on things, but I do have to say one thing. I want to send out our condolences from here at NFL Female to the family of former Titans place kicker Rob Barones, who was tragically killed in a one-vehicle accident on Saturday night. And just a terrible, terrible situation and terrible tragedy. And they're newly married, just married Terry Bradshaw's daughter in June, Rachel Bradshaw. So just a terrible situation, and our hearts and prayers go out to the Barones family. All right, so let's talk some NFL. Lisa, let's start with you. You said you just wrote an article about your Dolphins. I want to ask you this. I see a lot of commentary about Ryan Tannehill. We're having it really is sort of funny how the Titans and the Dolphins do parallel each other right now.
They do. You're absolutely right.
Is Ryan Tannehill in danger of being benched?
I truly think he is. I think there's definitely discussions. It's definitely been the hot topic down here. What's so discouraging is, I always like thinking that I'm kind of like that quarterback guru kind of person. You can just kind of get the sixth sense of a quarterback when you see him. Just like with Luck. When I saw Luck in college, there was no way this guy wasn't a franchise quarterback. Tannehill coming out of A&M, when he started with us, he'd only started, 16 games. That was it.
Not very many.
Not many. So the first year you're thinking, okay, you got to give him the first year. We're in our third year here. And like you said, we're mimicking Locker here with the same thing. I mean, there's a time where you get to a time where this is either the guy or he isn't the guy. At 3 years into the NFL, you've seen a lot of defenses. I don't care what offensive coordinator you've had. That's an excuse. You're a quarterback in this league. You want to step up and take control of this team. You need to do it. I firmly believe he has to do it this weekend against the Raiders. If he doesn't, he's going to be sitting on the bench. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. To me, there's plays that define a quarterback, and if you give me just a second, I want to define one of those plays in Sunday's game. It was a 2nd and 1. We were driving on a potential winning drive. To scoring a touchdown would have put us in the lead. It's a 2nd and 1. He gets flushed out of the pocket because our line struggled a little bit. He got flushed out of the pocket. He had Brandon Gibson wide open in front of him. Plus, he had 10 or 15 yards to run. It was clear path. Everybody in the stadium wanted it. He threw it to Mike Wallace, who at that time was out of bounds and covered for an incomplete pass. The very next play, he gets sacked for a 5-yard loss, and we had to punt the ball.
Oh, that's not good.
There's defining moments to me. That's a defining moment to me. Because at that point, two things entered my mind. One is this either guy has the worst vision ever in seeing downfield, or he's throwing the ball where he was told to throw it. That bugs the crap out of me. If you're a robotic quarterback and you throw it where you're supposed to throw it, no. And so it put a lot of the coaches at odds. It put a lot of things out. And Matt Moore isn't the answer. I mean, he's a backup. He's a backup for a reason. He's been a backup in 10 years in this league for a reason. But I have to tell you, 10 years in the league, I don't think Matt Moore makes that throw. I think he takes it on himself that he wants to win the game. He's going to throw it and get the first down and keep the drive going. So, I mean, it tells a lot. And honestly, in my personal opinion, it's just my personal opinion. I've been getting tore up for it. I can't. Tannehill is not the franchise quarterback for this team, and he needs to be put on the bench.
Yeah, it certainly seems like, it's like you said, it's 3 years in. You're not really seeing the progression that you think you should. I think that it kind of boils down to that.
Well, and you clearly see it. I mean, you clearly see the balls being forced to Wallace. Because heart lines become nonsense. Gibbs, and the majority of these plays, when you go back and break the film down, the majority of these plays, Gibson's open, heart line's open. He's throwing the ball where he's told to. He's not taking this offense by the handles, by the bullhorns, I want to say, and driving this team. He's throwing the ball where he wants to, and to me that reflects, Bill Lazor. I mean, I sat and watched the game Monday night. Yeah. Not this past Monday night.
How many reads are they allowing him? Do you think?
I don't think they're, honestly, Sharona, I don't think they're allowing him any. I mean, because we sat there and watched him in the stadium, and everybody around me started kind of listening to me because I'm like, watch his head. He snaps that head right to Wallace every single pass and down. And granted, our line struggled and flushes him a little bit, but that's it. He just throws it. And it doesn't matter. I understand. It's like, he doesn't have time to go through his reads. Bullcrap. Instinctively, pocket presence is horrible. And they're talking about, he's going to learn under this. I'm sorry. Once again, this is my quarterback instinct telling you. Pocket presence can't be taught. Pocket presence is something elite quarterbacks just have. It's like a sixth sense. Just like there's people in the field, like detectives, anything, they just have that edge. They just figure things out. They've got that sixth sense. To me, that's what quarterbacks have. Elite quarterbacks have that sixth sense. And my problem being down here, and it's the same thing. We got spoiled with Dan Marino because he had a lightning quick release and knew exactly where he was. And honestly, he didn't give a damn what play call Shula called. If he thought he saw something different, he changed it.
Well, I think that you have to allow your quarterback that opportunity. And I think that if you're not allowing your quarterback that opportunity, you're really putting your quarterback in a bad situation because there's no way that they're going to get comfortable. There's no way that they're going to learn to go through their progressions and do their reads without allowing them the opportunity to improvise.
Right, and you guys having two quarterbacks, Stafford's one of them. The knock on Stafford, remember the sidearm, the sidearm throw? And everybody's like, oh my God, you can't get away with that. You come in, you try to change his mechanics, and look at the year he had. Now it's like a little bit exactly. Now let him play to his strengths. Let him play to be Matt Stafford. Jake Lockhart, the same thing. Play to Jake Lockhart's strengths. What's he good at? What's he excel at? Is it reading defense? You know what? For all we know, Tannehill might suck at reading defenses. I have no idea. But it's surely looking that way because he surely doesn't know how to kill a play. Because I don't think I've heard him say kill one time this year. So I think he just goes through it.
Yeah, Lisa, let me ask you this. Deion Jordan, I just don't know about that young man. The Tannehill pick was a little odd to me. The Dolphins drafts, I think, have really hampered them over the course of the last 3 or 4 years. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. The last 5 years, if you really want to go down into the draft a little deep. And you know what? Believe it or not, that hurts a team years out.
It does.
It does. This Tannehill pick has hurt us for 5 years. I'll guarantee you it'll take us 5 years to find another quarterback that will deem, again, the franchise quarterback, or it'll just take us that time to get him up to speed because you're going to go back to square one. You know what? And it's the consensus of every fan down here. Not some are still on the Tannehill train. You know what? To me, it's not on the Tannehill train or the Moore train. It's whoever gives you the best chance of winning the game needs to be in there. And honestly, right now, it is strongly looking like it's Matt Moore. Because even 10 years in the league, yes, we know Matt Moore for who he is. He's a backup. But the guy will put some W's in the column. And, might not take us to the promised land, but it's got to be better than where we're going now. Because right now, we're going to, going downhill quickly. We'll be tied for that first-round pick. Which I don't have a problem with because I think that Oregon quarterback's a stud. I would love to have him down here. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Mariana. Let me talk a little bit about, and Sonja, I want you to weigh in on this too. The AFC East is really interesting this year, Lisa. The Buffalo Bills sit atop at 2-1. The New England Patriots are right there behind them. Then the Dolphins are just a game out from them at 1-2. The New York Jets are behind them at 1-2 as well. You see the Jets struggling as well. Geno Smith. You get good Geno Smith, and then you get bad Geno Smith.
Yes.
How's that division going to come down this year?
Well, I honestly think that when you look at Buffalo, you'd honestly have to say clear cut that Buffalo's about the strongest. One thing, once again, all these teams lack is quarterbacks, except for Tom Brady, who you're looking at. I read a stat today on Twitter. Somebody put Tom Brady's like 2 for 16 on passes 25 yards and plus or more. Yeah. And so I started laughing really and I started saying, "Now, wasn't he the one that said when I suck, I'll retire?" So,
he's hanging in a little too long there.
Yes, the Jets. Now the Jets, on the other hand, are interesting because you want to talk about quarterbacks. Here's the interesting about the Jets. A great thing to me is if anybody asks me right now which team should change their quarterbacks, it should be the New York Jets because Geno's horrible. And I'll tell you why. Because he's got Michael Vick behind him. Michael Vick isn't a Matt Moore. Michael Vick isn't a backup quarterback. Michael Vick's a starter. So what are you waiting for? Pull the trigger, put Michael Vick in there, and start winning some games. So
just do it after the Lions play the Jets. Just do that week 5 and we're all set. But no, I mean, I think that the AFC East is not shaping up the way I thought at all. I thought the Dolphins would at least make some noise. The Jets,
right?
I really did. I thought the Jets would, I didn't think they were going to be that great because let's think about it. They really don't have too much of an offense going for them. I really thought that Eric Decker was kind of a stretch and thinking that he was going to be, what he was in Denver because he doesn't have Peyton Manning throwing to him.
Right.
He's got Geno, so I mean, I really thought that was a stretch. I am surprised to see Buffalo, and kind of in a nice way, surprised to see Buffalo at least in first place so far this year, and E.J. Manuel kind of stepping up and looking pretty good out there.
Yeah.
And Sammy Watkins coming around too, so, Oh, go ahead.
And, well, the thing about Buffalo, too, is when you look at Buffalo with Marone, he's doing it right with EJ. He's playing to EJ Manuel's strength. Yeah. He's not putting the whole game on the kid right now. He's not, he's not asking him to do everything. And that's the difference between them and everybody else is they're playing around EJ Manuel. When you look at EJ Manuel, the game that we had, it was basically just nice, beautiful little passes here and there, just methodically kind of little things running down the field. Game manageable things, but game management wins games.
It does.
And,
It does. It does.
It's difficult to think of slow and steady wins the race in the National Football League, but it really sort of does.
Right.
I mean, it's a passing league. If your quarterback isn't able to just go out there and be steady and sure, you don't. It's not that you even necessarily have to have. I mean, it was nice and pretty and everything to see Peyton putting up all those numbers and stats and everything last year. But who won the Super Bowl? Russell Wilson, whose stats were not nearly what. He just went out there and made plays when he had to.
Made plays.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they did on Sunday. Same thing, just made plays.
See that time and time again. So, Sonja, your Lions, give us an update on them.
So I don't know if you guys heard this, but one of our linebackers kind of hurt himself over the weekend.
Yes, we did. Former Tennessee Titan, by the way.
Yes, former Tennessee Titan Stephen Tulloch there. You know, discount double checking and mayhem strikes. You know, what's that all about?
Double check.
It's not funny, but it's funny. I'm sorry.
It's horrible.
It reminded me of Grammatica, that thing, remember?
Exactly, Grammatica. And then also, kind of in a way, Nate Burleson just trying to catch a pizza. I mean, you know, so we've kind of been snake picks. But, you know, we're coming off a big win over the Packers, which is really, really good. You know, Sue and Fraley are really stepping up, kind of playing for contracts. And, you know, I guess that's all they needed was just the threat of not re-signing and stuff like that, playing for the contract. So that's good. You know, they kind of
Who's going to replace Tulloch?
I think they signed somebody from the practice squad from Baltimore's practice squad. I don't know why Boston came up, but yeah, we signed somebody from Baltimore's practice squad today. I can't remember his name. Gwen will remember because she tweeted me saying that he's an awesome kid. So I'm really excited to see that. We did also we froze our kicker, Nate Freeze. He has been replaced. Now that is one you have to kick these field goals. You have to make field goals. And so, you know,
our kicker missed 2 on Sunday as well.
But, you know, not like ours has. You know, consistently in, like, all his games, he's missed field goals, and you can't have that. So we signed Eagles kicker Alex somebody. I can't remember. I'm horrible with names today, guys.
Kearney? I think it's Kearney.
Yes, it's Alex Kearney. So we signed him. So we will see what's going to happen there. Who else? Oh, somebody is our third receiver, but I can't remember. And leaving Ryan Broyles inactive still. So it's really kind of interesting because, you know, you really wanted Ryan Broyles to kind of get out there and make some plays this year and see what he could. So I'm still hoping that's going to happen. But overall, we're playing pretty good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So, you know, big game next week against the Jets in New York. I think we've got a decent chance if we can just, you know, if our defense gets to Geno, which I'm pretty sure it can, I think we'll have a great game.
Yeah, it's the Lions, the Chicago Bears, who looked really good last night, and the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Would anybody have gone into the season and expected the Green Bay Packers to be at the bottom of that division going into the floor? I don't think so.
Not at all.
And did I see that Sue actually helped Rodgers up on one play?
Yes. See, he's not so mean, guys. Leave him alone. He's a nice guy.
Just so I want to ask you about something.
Guys, that's how they saw the Sports Center. They didn't tell everybody that the Lions won. They just showed Sue picking up Rodgers off the ground.
Exactly.
I missed that. I'm going to have to check it out. I want to ask you about something, Sonja.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of people were making a big deal on social media about Cam Newton calling Ndamukong Suh saying Donkey Kong, like several times. I thought it was funny and kind of cute and everything. I didn't think it, but a lot of people didn't like that. What was your take on it?
You know, I thought it was just, you know, trash talk between players, and that's just what happens. Yeah, we know that Ndamukong Suh doesn't like to be called names and stuff like that, but whatever.
You know what? It's football, baby. I bet he gets called names on the field.
Exactly, and I'm sure he calls a couple people a few names as well. Let's just call it out there. But, you know, I thought that was cool. It's football. This is what football is. It's trash talking. It's, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, throwing flags for name calling and stuff like that, I'm kind of over it, you guys. But, you know, I didn't have a problem with it at all. I love it. I like trash talk. I think it's great. I mean, why do you think I love trash talking you guys all the time?
You're right.
Exactly.
Bring it.
That's the fun part about it. Yeah, what about the Colin Kaepernick penalty? We still don't exactly know what he said. I hate that penalty. I wish that penalty would die a quick, fiery, painful death.
I hope it gets drowned in the Pacific Ocean. It's just stupid. I mean, come on, guys.
I think he was inviting him over for dinner.
Yeah, so let's all sit in a circle around a campfire, and sing Kumbaya.
Exactly, and make s'mores and toast marshmallows. But, I mean, I think
that actually does sound good.
It really does, because it's kind of s'moresy weather out here now. So
I've got my fireplace going.
Yeah, we should do it, totally. But no, I mean, I think it's stupid. It's, once again, it's just football players. It's just football players being football players. This is what they do. I mean, I don't think it means anything by, they don't mean anything by it. They really, truly don't. It's just trash talk. And trash is trash. That's all it is. They're just talking. Let them talk. I'm sorry.
I'm going to assume that that's a pet peeve of Sonja's.
Just a little bit.
All right.
I don't know. I love it. I think trash talk is great. I mean, as long as you're not hurting anybody or anything like that, whatever. Let them talk. Let's just talk.
All right. Well,
I think you should change your fantasy name to Donkey.
Donkey.
I do too.
Okay. I'll change it.
I just want to say that we are like almost 50 minutes into this, and I have not mentioned who I beat last weekend in fantasy football.
Was it me? Wasn't me. You didn't play me yet, right?
Wasn't you, Lisa?
Okay.
Wasn't me either. I don't think. Was it?
No, it was Claire.
Oh, Claire.
Oh, Claire. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You did kind of demolish her.
You did. Poor Claire.
It was not pretty. I saw the score. It wasn't pretty. Oh, Claire, I'm sorry.
We've talked about this before, but gosh, all the injuries.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, just a lot. Pitta's out for the season.
Yeah, and
Pitta's out. Danny Woodhead. Yeah, Danny Woodhead is out.
Matt Cassell.
Yeah,
Matt Cassell. Me and names today.
I don't think anybody owned him anyway, did they?
No.
Yeah, it's Teddy time in Minnesota. Hopefully they'll get Cordarrelle Patterson involved again because.
I think Teddy will, don't you? I think Teddy will look for him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, they've forgotten that he's on the football team, I
think. Once again, another team that isn't utilizing the quarterback to play to his strengths. Let Teddy throw the ball. Teddy's got a great arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And next week we get to talk to Lisa, and we'll get to talk to her about Teddy and Matt and Cordell and all those. So that'll be fun.
Let me ask you guys this. I was asked this today, and I struggled with it. I actually had to think about it, and I still don't know that I've come up with the names yet. Who are going into week 4 right now, not based on reputation, just based on play through 3 games in 2014, who are the top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League?
Oh, gosh. Good question.
Nick Foles, Kirk Cousins,
yeah.
Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Phillip Rivers.
What about Russell Wilson?
I was going to say Russell.
Russell's Russell, though. You know, he does. Russell's a different quarterback when he plays on the road, though. You know, so
True.
I don't know. Russell would have been number 6.
Okay. Sonja, what about you?
Foles, Cousins, Manning. I was gonna put Russell before Brees. Okay. I really was. So Russell, Brees, and then
Brees hasn't played to his capabilities either.
Well, he's another player that's the same thing. He's a different quarterback out of a dome. You know, in elements, he's a different quarterback.
Mm-hmm. What about Matt Ryan? Where would you put Matt Ryan?
7?
Yeah, I was about to say 7, 8. I'm trying to think where Jay Cutler would fit because he has actually had a couple of good games. I hate to say it, but he has had. Okay. But that's none of my business.
Yeah. Swarmy Jay Cutler has had some nice games, and he's really doing pretty well in Mark Trestman's offense, and he's got some great receivers in Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey and tight end Martellus Bennett, but he is Smarmy Jay Cutler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
now,
so
where
it's
would you
really
put Drew Stanton in on all this? I mean, they are 3-0.
Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where Aaron Rodgers did not make the top 5. Where does he fall right now?
The thing about Aaron is, I think Aaron's just I think he's suffering because of his line, and I still think Aaron's a top quarterback. I mean, he knows how to throw the ball, he knows where to go with the ball, he knows good ball placement. He's still very accurate. I still think he's a top tier quarterback, that's for sure. I think he's just struggling with not a lot of talent on that team right now. So and I really expected him to do a lot better. I think Eddie Lacy, they need to get that offensive line going a little bit better. Get Lacy running the ball is huge for them. I mean, they're his play. He's one of the great quarterbacks off of a play action with Lacy. I mean, I still think he's in the top 10.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how Phillip Rivers does. They lost Ryan Matthews. Now he will be back at some point. Danny Woodhead to injured reserve, broken leg. They've got Donald Brown, and they just brought somebody else in, and I forget who that is off the top of my head. I don't know that we're going to continue to see the same Phillip Rivers. Are you guys are you buying into Phillip Rivers when you consider the injuries that they have?
I'll buy into him if he can get them through these injuries. I'll play them and kind of manage the team. He does have Antonio Gates as well. So, I will see. I'll probably make a better judgment once he gets through this next little phase, with the injuries and stuff like that.
All right. Yeah. Let's talk. We haven't touched upon this, but Sonja and I do like to talk about issues that involve women, and so I want to get your thoughts on the current status of the NFL in regards to the Ray Rice situation, the violence against women issue, the Roger Goodell press conference, and then the Steve Biscotti press conference. Lisa, I want to start with you. Give us your thoughts on that.
All right, my thoughts are here. I have 2. One, I'll go ahead and address the one that I kind of think is important. One thing with me was it's very clear that the NFL did not and has to implement definitely a better domestic violence code of conduct. That obviously what had been left out and is getting addressed from Roger. The thing about it, though, is it's hard because every one of us as Americans are entitled to due process. We are innocent until we're proven guilty. So the thing that bothers me a lot about it is, these things, when they happen, the team to me needs to take a stance, because these are high-profile players. We got guys that have millions of dollars. We have women that can try to exploit that. So we have to be very careful, because even though as a society and women, we can't let domestic violence go, and you do not put your hands on a woman, period. But you have to let due process. We're still, as Americans, entitled to that. So I think that Roger was a little bit hard, because he's in a rock between. He's stuck, because we want action, but we want actions like Ray Rice was different. We saw it with our own eyes. Video, it speaks volumes. Because before it was just our imaginations of what Ray, and then we saw it and how violent it was. But what happens with the incidences now, that if you have a guy who's coming in here and gets in a fight with his girlfriend, okay, just his fiance or something, and she falls and says, well, I'll fix you, I'm calling the police because you're going to get in trouble. They got to be protected by that stuff too. At the same time, you have to implement, because we're still, do our diligence, and we still have to be committed or have to be even proven innocent and guilty. If you're proven guilty, then the NFL needs to lower the boom, and this is where you implement your domestic violence thing. You are suspended this a year. But what do you do to a player that has just been accused, has just got arrested because, we went to the house, we did see marks on her, we're investigating. What do you do with that player? So do you immediately put him on that exempt list until we get this all straightened out? See, I think the press conference was I liked Steve's press conference better than Roger's because I felt Steve did a better job of being unscripted. It seemed like he was talking by himself. Rogers was so PR scripted, it was incredible.
Yeah.
So that's how
I agree with
it.
that.
But,
absolutely.
I agree 100% with what you were saying, Lisa. And it's just, everybody is owed due process, but I think they kind of bungled how they've handled it, obviously. And so,
right.
And like you said, I know that there are plenty of women out there, and not saying that this is right at all, but who would just kind of trap somebody and say, oh, well, like you said, I'm going to get you in trouble, so this is what I'm going to do. And you can't do that. And so I am, sit until an investigation is done. You know what I'm saying? Until you get the evidence that you need. And of course, if it turns out that, something did happen, then of course you're out. You're done. That's it. There is no tolerance for that type of stuff. But, I tweeted to Sharona earlier this week, maybe, or last week, one person who I really want to hear is Martha Ford. I want to hear what she has to say, as being a female, being an owner. And, everybody's, owners have Roger has ownership support. I want to know what she thinks. Anybody out there can help me with that?
You haven't seen anything?
Yeah, I would be curious.
I haven't.
I would be too. Nothing's been said.
No.
I agree with a lot of what Lisa was saying. I do think that you have to be careful not to have a zero tolerance policy. In real life, the numbers of women who falsely accuse are incredibly low compared to the instances of violence that is actually conducted against them. I am actually perfectly okay with having a guy get caught up in that situation because I think they have to make better decisions to begin with. If you're choosing to be with a woman who would do that, you're making bad choices to begin with, and we know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a well-known group of women that we're talking about, and there's really relatively little secrets that that aren't known. And so if you're dealing with a certain kind of female, maybe you ought to be thinking about the decisions that you're making. Now, having said that, I agree that you have to be careful, and you don't want to. It needs to be a carefully crafted and very well handled type of policy. And I would like to see Roger Goodell give up some power in terms of what he is going to be doing. I would like to see there be a tribunal, some sort of tribunal that will judge all of these cases under the personal conduct policy, and not just situations involving women, although that is certainly something that would fall under that, but all of these other things too, the Jim Irsay situation, a lot of things, because I do feel like, regardless of how you might feel personally about Roger Goodell, it is just a situation that lends itself to inconsistency because he is one man, and I'm sure that he does consult and all of that. But I think that bringing in other people into that process and having more than one person be the final arbiter would help a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I said, and it's the truth. And with him, like you said, that speaks volume. Like you said, you need to take some of the power away. And the thing is, and then decision making, like you said, is top notch. These guys have to make better decisions because the NFL can't babysit these grown men. These are grown men. And when you look at it and you're just looking, and as teams, and I'm sure teams now are going to get a little bit more stricter on scouting policies, i.e. Jamison Winston down here at Florida State. Look at the flags this kid has already raised. I mean, did you see Jimbo Fisher's face when he came out in uniform? I'm sorry, I have a picture on my phone and I kept it because it's classic. I mean, this kid couldn't make a decision if it hit him square in the face. But there it is, right there. That's what you're looking at, and you're just as a college scout right now, you're looking at Jamin Wilson, and there's red flags from here to Kentucky.
Well, I think too, it speaks to the fact that it's got to start a lot earlier.
Exactly.
These guys don't get to the National Football League with an entitlement syndrome on their own,
right?
And making bad decisions. I mean, when you coddle and excuse and create that thought process, then I think that we're doing a disservice to our kids by the whole you get a trophy and you get a trophy and you get a trophy, regardless of whether or not you win or lose. Losing is an important part of the process, and
I think so too.
And I think these kids need to learn that yes, you know what, in life you do lose, and it's how you respond to losses that will define you as much as how you respond to wins. And so it's definitely a societal issue. It's certainly not an issue that is isolated to the National Football League. But the good news is we're finally having a dialogue about it, and we're finally having women become involved in the process. And I think that's a major milestone for.
Well, it helps us out. It helps us out as NFL female, being with the Dolphins organization and meeting with the Dolphin organization Sunday. I almost felt like they were like listening to me, because it's like, you're NFL female. We know we want to hear women's voices now. We want to get women involved. So even as us as an organization, though a tragedy it took of getting Ray Rice's wife beat up to put us in the forefront, it shouldn't have been that way, and that's kind of sad, because it shouldn't have taken that. Because we work hard at everything all of us do together, and but like you said, we rise above it, we embrace it, and we make a positive out of it, and we bring awareness.
I think my alarm clock is going on. I think my alarm clock is going on. I think somebody's like, "Hey,
pay attention to me.
Hey, hello. You're supposed to be up here snuggling with me."
Oh, she's got a time clock, huh? She's got a time clock.
She's like, that's been long enough. It's time to move on.
Live alone. Yes.
So, what kind of questions were they asking you, Lisa?
Well, what he was asking me is basically asked me about our site and stuff, and he was just he was kind of surprised that we had 32 women, and he's like, "You have 32 reporters for your team?" So I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And so he was just like, and he did. He was like, "Oh my gosh, really?" He goes, I've seen you tweets. I've seen NFL female. So I was like, exactly. He goes, because he thought that I was just a Dolphin person with a website. He had no idea about exactly. So when I met him, and then I met him again at halftime, and he was just like, "I just went through your site." He goes, "That's an incredible site." He goes, "You guys do incredible work," and basically they gave me anything I wanted, and I got his number, and I'm going down to this big media event in October, and
look at you.
So it was awesome, because it's like, it's, but like I said, it's getting there, and that's what I told Liz. I said, we're getting there. We're getting recognized, and believe it or not, they're watching. They watch on Twitter. So when you're using the NFL thing, be careful, because they are watching. These teams do watch. And it was funny, is I never even realized it, but the Dolphins follow me. I never even realized it, because they've got like millions of followers, and they only follow like 3,000, but they follow me. I was like, oh my God. So I was like surprised. I know, I didn't even know. And so I was like, okay. Because I don't care about that unfollow and follow. If you don't want to follow me, don't follow me. I don't care. People were like, 5 people unfollowed me today. It's like, I really don't care. Maybe they didn't like that Tannehill comment. I don't care. But it was funny. It started, so I kind of jacked me up a little bit. Like, okay, I better be careful what I say to them.
Be nice.
Yeah,
be
you know,
nice,
I think that we at NFL Female do an excellent job of keeping it classy, and
especially for your teams. That's important. That's important that we do that. Even though we might be critical of our teams, which we have a right to, that's our opinion. That's what we write about. That's what we report on. If Jake Locker has a horrible game, Sonja's gonna be like, he had a miserable game. This sucked. This was horrible. Coaching was horrible. That's constructive criticism. That's your reporting. But that's your passion for your team. You love your team. You know, and you're still going to be a Titans fan no matter what.
Yeah. So
exactly.
All right. Well, the hour does always go by really fast. Any other topics you guys want to talk about before we get out of here?
I'm not in the toilet. Did you notice?
I was going to say something about that, but, you know, we started out laughing so hard that I was like, we finally got it under control. Let's try to get through the show.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah, I was trying my best not to open up on the John with the new lady on the app thing.
So good.
Yeah, Rhonda got to meet us at our finest, giggling,
exactly.
doing what we do. Doing what we do in the beginning. Well, Sonja, we've got a big show next week. You talked just a little bit about it. Give us a preview.
Next week, I'm so excited. We're going to talk some NFC North with Verlisa. She is our Vikings queen. So we're going to talk about Exactly. We're going to talk about the Teddy train, and then we are bringing on our Redskins correspondent, Miss Kelly. So I'm so excited. Yes, it will be all NFC everything. Get to talk about that.
Cheers? Have you guys ever watched Cheers?
Of course.
Kelly. P-E-L-L-Y. Kelly.
Oh,
we're going to have to do that now, Sonja. We're going to have to include that in the hour show.
And break that in, yo.
Yeah.
So all NFC everything next week. I'm so excited. Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun. All right. Well, our time is up, so we're going to be signing off now. We're going to do our outro, so I'm going to kick it back to Sonja and let her give her outro and Lisa give hers, and then I will get us out of here.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Rhonda for sharing Gridiron Moe with us. Thanks, Lisa, as always, for coming on and talking some trash. Love it. I'm Sonja. You can find me on Twitter at mom2, 3RN. You can find me writing about the Lions on NFLfemale.com. You can also find me on A Good Sports Hang. I'm a contributor to those crazy fellers. And the Wolverine correspondent for our good friend Bo, speaking on sports. Lisa, thanks so much for joining us, and tell us where we can find you.
Well, thank you guys very much for having me. It was fun. I just want to say that I wasn't broadcasting out of the toilet. My fantasy football team got out of the toilet, so I'm not a loser anymore. So I'm turning my season around. You can find me on Twitter anytime, all the time, talking Dolphin football and other crazy sports and football at LJ1303. You can also find me at NFLfemale.com. Look for our new articles that just came out every week, and on Wednesday nights with NFL Female.
All right, well, I'm Sharona. You can follow me on Twitter at Sports by Sharona. I am the official Times reporter for NFL Female. I have no idea what's going on back there in the background, but
my dog threw up everywhere. What's that?
Oh my goodness! You never know what's going to happen on our show. This is the Zone Blitz. We come to you every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned in. We'll be back next week with another wonderful show. Shout out to Liz. Have a very pleasant evening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, YouTube. Bye, YouTube. See you this weekend.
Hello.